everyone, it's your girl Kim, and welcome to I Got Something to Say, Tales of an Awkward Woman. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time out for viewing this video. If you could do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and like this video and leave us a comment to let us know what you think. And I promise you I would read them. Your support means so much to me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. As you guys know, I've been talking a little bit more about my journey this month, and that's in lieu of my birthday, which is next week on the 28th. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. And so I'm gonna dive into the story. So I was 29 years old around this time. So as you know, earlier this month we talked about, some of the emotional things I went through, and last week we talked about people pleasing. And so this week I'm going to tell you how all of that caused me to go into like a real deep, dark place. It was hard for me to say, hey, I'm not okay. And so during that time, I would isolate myself. I would be in my room in the dark, crying. Also, I had a very unhealthy relationship with food. So I would binge eat, and I would eat to fill the void. Now, not all of my 20s was all dark and grim, but I do remember just not being in an okay place. And it was a month before my birthday, and things were just hard. Like, I didn't think anyone around me cared. I didn't think anyone close to me even thought I mattered, and I didn't think I mattered. And I allowed the thoughts and the opinions of others and the thoughts that were playing in my mind to consume me, to the point where if you told me, Kim, you are the most amazing person, I wouldn't have believed you. And it was so bad that I was sitting in my room one day, and I literally thought, if I left this earth, would anybody even care? And because of how I was being treated at the time, I felt like I should just stop being a burden on everybody and just leave. Because it was apparently everything was my fault. It was my fault because of decisions other people made. It was my fault because this was going on in someone's life and I wasn't available to help them. It was my fault because things wasn't going right with somebody because they thought I would be there when I couldn't be there. And I just wanted to give up. It was almost like I became a shell. I felt dead on the inside. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't in that moment push past how I felt. And so that one thought spun into a million more thoughts. And it was literally January 30th. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna be here. And at the time I was 29. I didn't wanna, I made plans to end my life before I was 30. And so, and when I tell y'all, I didn't see purpose. I didn't see how beautiful I was and how valuable I was. So it wasn't until I was walking, and when I tell y'all I was merely existing, I would be walking and the only thing in my mind was, I have to figure out how to do this. I don't want to be here anymore. And I was walking to work. I remember I looked up. I had the right of way and I was supposed to cross the street. And there was nobody around me. So that's context. There was nobody around me. And I looked, there was no cars, nothing. I'm thinking I'm clear to cross the street. And before I stepped my foot off that curb, I felt someone literally jerk my body back. And a truck came speeding past. And I knew in that moment that was God. Because I could have died. Although I wanted to before that moment, I could have died. And I stood there for him. I was shook. I stood there and I was just like, God, was that you? Now, mind you, I'm someone who loves to talk to the Lord. And I know I hear him. And he was like, yeah. And from that day on, I decided to live and celebrate myself. So I was like, you know what, God, I want to live. I want to fulfill your purpose. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do it. And I feel like since then, my journey, wasn't the most glamorous, but 10 years later, I'm not that woman anymore. So I literally have been a little bit off and on weepy about this particular birthday, because I remember that day 10 years ago. And I remember how I felt. I remember every part of my journey. And when I tell you I'm grateful for every person who has been sticking beside me, my support system is the bomb. I'm so grateful for every person that has walked away. I'm grateful for every moment. Although, some moments hurt, some moments caused me to grow in some areas when my flesh wanted to cut up, I'm still grateful for it. But at the end of the day, I want to live. And I know it's not always that easy for everybody. And I'm not going to sit and use my platform to say that it is. Some of us need a little extra help, and that's okay. I do go to therapy. I have a support network. I'm able to be like, hey, 911, I'm not okay today. And I journal. But most importantly, I've, over the past 5 years or so, have become grounded in who I am in God. So I want to say before I close, as I'm closing, your life is valuable. There are people who need you. You are wanted. I know that it might not feel like it right now. You might not be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's okay. Just try to see the little spark every 2 seconds. Take it second by second if you have to. But don't stop fighting. You're needed. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to end this video here. And if no one else tell you guys, I love you.